And why shall the river of Euphrates be dried up? So the highway of the kings shall be known. I'm paraphrasing to some degree. The king's highway there. So where's the king's highway? Where's this highway for the kings? Well, he said the Euphrates shall be dried up. So I'd assume the king's highway is through the Euphrates somewhere. That's in Iraq. The Euphrates run through Iraq. So it is not just in Iraq alone. So, but what that is showing you before we say anything else is that when it says the King Highway, it's like a portal for angels ascending and descending. So you could see that that area of the world and many other parts of the earth can be considered as stargates. And if it is not a place where a human physical being can pass through some portal like a wormhole and reach some other dimension someplace else, for sure there are places where you could definitely transcend with your physical body still in the same place, but with the right atmosphere and environment, especially if it is peace and the right frequency, you can literally transcend. Your spirit will move to somewhere else, almost as if you are fast asleep and dreaming. And some of these places have that energy to do that. This ain't spookism. This ain't spookism. This is hitting one tuning fork and the other tuning fork shake. Wait, what? That's spookism? No, that's frequency. Come on. Some of these monuments and the boulders, like what we're going to see when we go up Greencastle Hill on Sunday, these boulders are electromagnetic boulders. You're dealing with magnetism on another level. The earth itself is a magnet for the moon. But it's a different type of magnet. Okay? Saturn is a magnet, a well-organized magnet for its rings, for the rocks that go around it. Jupiter too has rings as well, and Neptune and Uranus. You may not see them as clear as Saturn, but they have rings, and these rings are formed because of their magnetic poles. But it's not a magnet in the sense of two magnets, you let them go and they bang hit one another. But it's a certain frequency and a certain electromagnetic pull. The sun is electromagnetic as well. So the fact that you're walking between material, earthly material now, rocks, volcanic rocks that have a certain frequency, again, tuning forks. So Greencastle Hill is a mountain of tuning forks, vibrating on their own, the stones I'm speaking of, and still vibrating amongst each other. And you are walking between these stones. You must be picking up something, and we do that all the time, Princess. We go up Greencastle Hill all the time, Prince. You know, we carry many people up there. Thousands of people have already followed us to the top of Greencastle Hill, where there is buried the governor of Baldwin, former governor of the Leeward Islands, colonializer I'm speaking of, buried at the top of the Stargate, right here in Antigua, buried at the top of Greencastle Hill, just like Cecil Rhodes is buried at the top of the Modobo Mountains, also referred to as the Motobo Mountains. So when you understand that science there, they understood it. That's why even in death, they prefer to have been amongst the frequency, because the Motobo or Modobo Mountains are the mountains of the great boulders, while Greencastle Hill is the mountain of the megaliths protruded out of the earth. Places of frequency. Say no spookism. So even if going through a portal and you're disappearing and go somewhere else is a bit far-fetched for you, I could understand your concerns. But it is clear, undisputed science that your spirit can transcend to another place totally, even while you are consciously walking. When you go through certain zones, that is the reality. All right, let us listen to this one. No, this one is definitely coming from a video here. Let me give you a highlight. The one prior to this was a short clip from National Geographic, and this one now, the Lost History Channel. And this is a short video, actually, but you know how we do it here. Still check it out. Supposedly another Stargate that exists. So let's listen to this one. And that's the name of it. You could check it out too, Ran Masu, and you could see how it looks because he's going to be pointing it out here in this video. But let's listen to the audio.
Hey guys, I'm in Sri Lanka and there is a very strange stone artifact in a place called Ran Masu Uyana. Here, in an isolated place, you can find this weird circular carving which has baffled both archaeologists and visitors. It has a very complex design which looks similar to an electric circuit diagram or a technical drawing. And people of Sri Lanka believe that this is a stargate, a portal through which gods came from different planets. Archaeologists do not know when it was created, but it is generally accepted that this is about 6,500 years old, which means that you're looking at one of the oldest carvings in the world. This is older than the pyramids in Egypt and the Stonehenge in England. But what is the meaning of this complex carving? This is known as Sakwala Chakraya in Sri Lanka, which means the wheel of the universe. Sakwala means universe in Sinhala language, and Chakraya means wheel in Tamil and Sanskrit.
That's where the chakaya, with the chakra, I guess it's chakra. Chakra, as we would call it, means wheels of light. Interesting stuff.
Why is it called the wheel of the universe? And more importantly, if mainstream archaeologists believe that this is just a simple stone carving, why is it protected with an iron fence? Locals say that there is a strange energy coming out this carving at certain times, and it is not advisable to stand or sit very close to it. Here is an elderly gentleman who tries to show me that the Stargate emits strange energy.
Listen.
He demonstrates this by using a sacred object tied to a string, and it begins rotating right away. This rotating motion can be easily faked, but I do have something called an EMF detector.
Listen.
This will show even very small changes in energies, and you can see that the EMF meter's needle immediately goes all the way to the other side, which means there's a very high level of energy coming from this.
So the instrument that he has definitely shows the high reading of the energy. That's without a doubt. And the other fella had a thing like a pendulum with a iron-based the pendulum itself on a chain, something like the stuff you use to hypnotize people, like a clock, chain clock. And he just put it in front of the stone, the big stone here with all the carbons, and he just started to rotate. And as the host said, well, that can easily be faked. But when he used his machine, it shows a high level of energy. There's certain slabs up at Greencastle Hill. We had this on video, but we can do the experiment anytime, where you take a compass and you put it on these slabs, rocks, and the compass just start to go haywire, just spin, right here in Antigua, on Greencastle Hill. amongst the megaliths that align with the stars, according to the scientists, not according to me, according to the PhDs, astroarchaeologists, Maura Imber, University of the West Indies, Mona Campus, Trinidad. She is the one that did that experiment 2003. And according to her, the phallic stone, one of the many stones, the phallic stone aligns with the Little Dipper, which is at the northern celestial point of the earth, of the heavens, pardon me, such a pivot point, the northern celestial, Polaris there, the northern celestial north pole, basically, Polaris, a power point, according to her. So really, the heavens is seen on the hill, as above, so below. With the countless of stars, you have the countless of rocks that align with these stars. Reality. So on this hill, the areas where you put the compass and you see the compass spin and spin as if it's gonna break off, and the needle fly out of the casing. So that is how violent it is as far as the spinning. So something heavy must be going on around there. What think you?
This meter only shows up to 5 milligauss, but this rock must be emitting a much higher level of magnetic flux. This clearly means that there's something strange going on here. What is even stranger is that this is not a continuous flux, and we can see this only at certain times. When I tested this again a few minutes later, there was no reading.
Yeah.
Remember, I have already shown you yet another Stargate in India. This place has been completely fenced off, so there was no way to detect the EMF there. What is the purpose of these Stargates? According to Sri Lankans, this 6 foot tall Stargate is not only a portal through which the gods came down from the sky, but if used properly, even human beings can travel to other parts of the universe through the Stargate. We can see that there are several seats carved right in front of this carving. Locals insist that if human beings sit long enough and absorb the energy coming out of it, they would be able to travel and reach the gods. Another theory is that focusing intensely on these 7 circles in the middle of the diagram would cause hallucinations and induce astral travel and other psychedelic experiences. Some people also believe that Lord Buddha himself visited the Stargate at least 3 times, and he was able to operate this and travel to other planets. Some tantric Buddhists still visit this place at night, light up oil lamps, and go into a very deep state of meditation.
Exactly. Now, this is something now that is real time. For example, he said the Buddha would have visited this at least 3 times. I wouldn't doubt none of that. And would have traveled to some other place, some galaxy or something. He said, okay, that's interesting. I mean, that's very debatable, extremely debatable. But now, monks would still visit there at night.